Oh, hi, Veronica.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good.
So, thank you for taking the time for the session. I really appreciate.
No, thank you for coaching me.
I know I mentioned this before, but if you see me maybe lowering my gaze, I might be writing a couple of notes, but then I will destroy it at the end. So it will be all confidential. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Um, we have about 30 minutes. So, what would you like to focus on today?
That is a difficult question today. Sometimes I'm prepared and I know, or I have a wide topic. Today, I just somehow, I don't know, I think there's a lot going on in my head in general. Just for the day, when I wake up in the morning and I'm like brainstorming the task for today and what I'm gonna do. And I actually feel like I had a productive morning. And maybe when it's like, it's interesting. So I feel like I've had a productive morning. And so, like before our session, I was just like doing things last minute. And I was a little bit like, I wish it wasn't last minute. Like I could have been ready 5 minutes before, right?
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, no, Veronica, like this obviously happens in my head. I'm chatting to myself in my head. And I'm like, no, Veronica, look, it's 11 o'clock. You've already been out with the dog. You've already taken a shower. You've eaten your two breakfasts already. It's like before the walk, after the walk. So I'm like, no, Veronica, it's all good. Like you've already, your hair is dry and everything. You're ready to,
Yeah.
start the day on a good, foot. So, but then now I'm thinking, as I said it, I was like, well, that's interesting. But then it's like, then I crave the pause. So it's like, what do I actually want then, Because there are many, many days when I don't know. I don't know if I want to talk about this. Because
Yeah.
I've started talking about something like managing time and energy during the day. Yeah, sure. Because I work from home all day, every day,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes I'm like, there are days when I'm like between the morning and like 3 p.m. I do nothing. I watch TV, watch tennis, stretch, bloody exercise, do
Yeah.
all sorts of things. And then it's like 4 p.m. I'm like, gosh, I've done nothing. And I feel guilty. But then I'll sit
Yeah.
down in the evening and I'll do some work anyway. And then another day I wake up in the morning, 9 o'clock, and I'm like already. So that's messy. But I also wrote down notes for today, something to do with tennis. Weird things going on with tennis. I've been a bit negative about this.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I found something from our previous session, and it was actually the question that I was going to ask myself. So, if you had the best coach in the world, what would you like? How would well, the best coach in the world, what would you like that could help you? My notes from the session. Okay. Something to do with like if I had the best coach in the world, how would I like them to help me? Like how would I know
That's right.
they are so good?
That's right.
Okay. There is something to do with change. I don't like things stagnant. And I noticed that I walk around the house and I change small things like the arrangement of books on my bookshelf. And then because I change it and I clean it a little bit, tidy it up, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like it feels like fresh, something new.
Yeah.
And then, but it's quite a lot, like it's quite a lot that I want to change. Like actually looking back over the past few months, me and my partner, we've already been changing things in the house that were a little bit bigger changes. And actually, for the last good 6 months, we've been changing things, painting walls, rearranging rooms, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it makes me feel like maybe I change, my partner change, is changing. Like we're in a process of that
Yeah.
changing, right? No idea. None of us have any idea where we're going. It's tough. We both have tough time right now. He does too.
Yeah.
It's funny also because for different reasons, kind of
Yeah.
similar stuff. Find it's something about alignment,
Yeah.
looking for purpose, meaning alignment, that kind of sort of happiness in the modern world.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I start messing around with tennis too. And I'm like, what's up with this tennis? And it's something to do with like keeping up with change for me. It's like I feel like I didn't want tennis to change, but it's changed for the reasons out of my control. It's the club, the tennis club, the
Yeah.
owners, there's like the new group of coaches in there, and they do try things out. I signed up for a class, they canceled it after a few weeks. Now
Yeah.
I'm angry because I can't have my regular class, and I wanted it to
Yeah.
be regular, but it's not. So I've been really frustrated with that change going on there, that's been a law and kind of uncomfortable and kind of like, and
Yeah.
I remember I said to my boyfriend, I wanted a little bit of routine, just something. And I
Yeah.
thought it could be tennis. Like nothing else is constant. Like everything else is just so kind of, like you walk on a beach and the sand moves around your feet, as opposed to rock, you know?
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
I feel. Like I go somewhere and it's kind of like it works for a bit and then the wave comes and it's like,
Yeah.
shit, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Um, but going back to this question about the best coach in the world, I need to feel a little bit lightweight, a little bit more playful, a little bit more happy because I think recently everything has felt really serious, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And I think I bring up this tennis because tennis has become serious. And I think that's what I'm withdrawing because I'm like, no, I don't like that. This is my hobby and this is my fun. And it's
Right.
become this thing when I'm working every Monday for an hour on this forehand and I show up for an hour and I smash this ball on the forehand and then my body aches. And
Yeah.
after a few weeks, I'm like, why are we doing forehand all the time? Like, there's so many things that I want to practice. And I'm just doing this.
Right.
And I'm like, and it's became negative because, when you focus on this one thing and you constantly want to improve this one thing, so all you see is the negative, the thing that you need to improve. So you have the
Yes.
sense of like, I need to fix this. So I've
Right.
been showing up to tennis, and each time we talk with the coach and like, fix this, fix that. You're doing this with your racket, change it that way, change it that way.
Yeah.
And I woke up on Monday resentful and I didn't want to go to my class yesterday. And I was like, what? That's not like me. It's like I love tennis. Like, I run there. Like I drop work, my boyfriend, my dog, and I'm the first one in the class warming up. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why am I resentful? And I'm like, because it's just becoming so serious.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
and now
Right.
I'm like I was working towards some bloody gold medal or something, and and I'm like, well. So there's something about things being serious and
Yeah.
something with change. And like, I feel I'm a little bit like in survival mode in that sense. Like things are changing, like that sand. I have this sense of
Yeah.
like, and I need to keep up and I'm tired of keeping up with it.
Right. Right.
I'm like, and then it's like, I don't know, Trump says something, and then my boyfriend comes to me and he's like, have you seen gold? Because we both invest in, stocks and shares and gold and stuff. Whatever Trump says, that changes. So you kind of run there. And I'm like, I said to my boyfriend weeks ago, I do not want to listen about this. Don't
Yeah.
tell me. Like, I have my
Yeah.
investments and you have yours, sort out yours.
Yes.
I
Yes.
had to
Yes.
ask him because things change. Someone says
Yeah.
something and then it's about money, and then you're like, my money. And that's like, that security, that basic need in there,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know? So I'm like, I feel like I'm trying to find myself in this world and the, there are short periods of time when I'm there. And you've
Mm.
seen me in those moments when I just show up and I'm kind of a little bit happier, a little bit more
Yeah.
energetic or something. and I've progressed with something and it's a little bit more just kind of lightweight, not so heavy, on my
Yeah.
shoulders. And and then something changes and it's back down again. And I'm like, oh my
Right.
God, and what do I do with this again? And
Right. Right. So there is a lot there. There is a lot there. Yeah. There is a lot there, Veronica. Um,
yeah.
and I picked up uh, about you mentioned several times the word change
Mhm.
and also what is outside of your control
Yeah.
and needed to feel a little bit lighter. So I wonder if that is a good observation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something to do with, decision making. I think it's something to do with
right.
decision making.
Yeah,
I think I put a lot of weight on it.
okay.
Even if it means, am I going to this class at 12 tomorrow
Yeah,
or
yeah,
not?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily life-changing decisions.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we got there at the end.
if
Yeah.
this was a session that will be useful to you, how would you know?
I think I would feel a little bit of that relief. Just a
Mm,
little bit of like, um, just like, well, maybe this is not so serious, maybe like it's like my whole world isn't falling apart
yeah,
because Trump says something or because my tennis club changed. All these things out of my
yeah,
control, maybe they affect me in certain way, but maybe it doesn't necessarily mean like it, shakes my own self
yes,
identity, like
yeah,
there's some weird attachment there.
right.
Control something, so maybe I'm trying to control the things that I can't control.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I think I'm just frustrated that they change. I see these things. I know they are out of control. So there's that helplessness
Yes,
and frustration coming with it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So you mentioned about decision making and recognizing what is things that are outside of your control, and there is this feeling of helplessness and frustration. So if you would leave the session and say, yeah, that was really useful, what do you think would be the sign that will tell you that?
I think I would feel lighter, relieved.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see it on my face, like the moment I'm lighter, I start smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, It's that playfulness that comes out when I
Right.
don't feel that heaviness. That playfulness comes out, and with that comes more motivation to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
work doesn't feel like I have to push through excuses,
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
feels like, oh yeah, I'll just do this video,
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, this course, oh, it's difficult.
Yeah. I get it. So what it's about decision making and also this feeling that you want to experience of playfulness that is important to you now in your life.
Well, it's a little bit like I asked for this freedom. But
Mm,
dropping my previous career or like you're not allowing certain people in my life so I can just be myself and do things the way I want to.
yeah.
So it's like I worked on this to have this freedom and now I have all this freedom, all the freedom in the world. And I was bloody wrong again. And I'm like, well, what's wrong? It's a
Right.
little bit like, mm, sure, everyone would like a perfect balance, but I generally I like the freedom. It's just like your mind is your can be your biggest enemy. Like the things that you create in your head is actually stopping you from doing things. So
Yes.
it's that. Like I have everything that I need,
Yes.
right? So why does it bloody feel so heavy? Like everything feels just like I get up from bed and I'm like, oh, it can't be bothered. What should I have for breakfast, you know?
Yeah.
And I have been mentioning to you as well that I hate winter, right? So sure, I can blame the weather and yeah, it does affect me whether I want it or not, you know, it's just us. But it
Mm,
doesn't mean that I have to, but it still doesn't mean that everything has to be so heavy.
I
Some
understand.
some sort of seriousness and importance that I put on this every little task. Um, Something to do with playfulness. I just
Yeah.
moved my notes away a little bit, like to make some space so I don't look at it. And
Yeah.
there's this sticky note right at the bottom of all my notes that were here. And this the sticky note says, I wrote it to myself, obviously. I wrote, it's not difficult. Go smash it quickly and have it done. You know? That's the thing. It's that like this something to do with this heaviness. Like in my head, it just seems so important. Like I something to do with how well it has to be done, you know? That perfectionism, something to
Right.
do with that, I
Right.
think. Because it's like otherwise I question why am I doing this, you know?
Right. Right.
And there is the business side of things. There is importance on it because I need income, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, I want the best product possible because that's when people will see value in it and then
Yeah.
will buy
Yeah.
it, right? And then I took it to tennis. And then I was like, no, 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 tennis is my hobby. Don't do that to
Yeah.
tennis, you know? Like, so, and it's tough when you go to tennis and you're surrounded by coaches, you know, tennis coaches, and they see those things, you know? And I'm like, oh gosh. And they point out to me, right?
Right. Right.
Um, so I forgot actually the question. Like,
Now I'm following you because you mentioned about playfulness, decision making, and you also mentioned about balance. So, with the time that we have, what do you think we could look more closely today?
it has something to do with just making a decision
Hmm.
and moving on with it
Okay. Okay.
without the whole negotiation process that happens in my head. You
Yeah.
know, the excuses. It
Yeah.
reminds me a little bit of Mel Robbins' 5 second rule. Do you know that one?
The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did try it in the past, and I didn't feel like it necessarily helped me massively. Um, but I'm gonna write it down. So I feel like we're narrowing it down to I make decisions. I have all this freedom all day, every day, right?
Yeah.
To do with my time and energy whatever I want all day, every day. I
Yeah.
can do like what a privilege that is anyway,
Yeah.
right? So I think it makes me realize how many decisions I make then every day because
Yeah.
there is no structure. There is no not there's nothing, you know, like it's just like every day is like a new blank
Yeah.
slate, you know, like what you want to do at 11, 12,
Yeah.
1, you know.
Yeah.
And I run in circles in my head in terms of, oh, maybe I should exercise now because I'll feel better in my body if I exercise in the morning. But I'm like, no,
Okay.
actually, but maybe in the morning is sometimes good work, you know. So maybe I should sit
Right.
down first and do that. But then I start procrastinating and I'm like, well, I've made a decision that I would work in the morning and now I'm not working and I'm also not working out, you know, not doing this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is this like pattern of like, and then it's like tennis happens, you know, and then someone, I don't know, they've canceled it or I
Yeah.
want to go and then I come back and I'm tired and I'm like, well, do I take a nap now or should I work? Well, I've not done much work today, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the many voices in my head that compete, you know, for
Yes.
like what I should or shouldn't do, right?
Yes. Yes.
I think if we worked on maybe on reframing, what can I say to myself?
Right.
You know, reframe should to could.
Yes.
To
Yes.
go back to I'm not a bloody victim of my I don't want to be a victim of my mind, right? And
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with anything really. I'm just sat here and everything is okay, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I could just bring myself back to kind of like, no, like you can sit under the blanket, you can literally work in your bed all day if you want to under that blanket, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, or actually, you can lie under the blanket all day and do nothing if you want to, you know? And you can get up tomorrow and decide again what you want to do, you know?
Yeah.
So when I do that, it brings me back to like, no, no, I want to do that work, you know? Like, no, I want my course, you know?
Ah.
Like, no, no, I want coaching, right? So something
Yeah.
to do between when I have competing voices in my head and I make those decisions, or should I do this or should I do that?
Yeah.
Straight away, it's that should, right?
Yes.
And I bet there's gonna be probably like million patterns of like, my mom's voice from when I was a child or my father's
Yeah.
voice, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and I talk about my parents because my parents are super, super hard workers. Um, and I can run myself super tired, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but then I'm like, oh, but am I intentional or am I just doing rubbish? Like, am I doing
Yeah.
rubbish?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like the competing between different areas of your life, like I want to be healthy, so I want to do that exercise, so I want to do tennis, but then also I'm working on this business, so should I sit in front of computer all day looking at the screen, right?
Yes. Yes.
Knowing that it's not necessarily that help.
And I wonder when you even talk about these competing voices in your head, how are you feeling now, even talking about that?
Um, um, like, there are those visual representations of thoughts, like with all tangled together, like many threads tangled together. And sometimes, like a psychology tool, they say like you pull out one thread and you just look at that, and then you pull out another and like you look at that, what is this? What's the problem
Yeah,
with it?
yeah,
So I feel like they're also tangled,
yeah, yeah.
like racing thoughts, racing thoughts.
Yes, 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 yes.
And I find myself often, if I get to that state, I clench my jaw. I clench my jaw and I have some weird thing that I start moving my tongue around as well. And it's
Yeah,
kind of, I get, I, I don't know for how long I do it, but what I find myself is it gets almost like numb. Like it was clenched for so long. I'm getting
yeah.
like, oh Jesus, like what's with this? Like,
Okay. So you mentioned about recognizing those moments you have
yeah,
these racing thoughts,
yeah, those competing voices.
these competing
That's it.
voices. So if we go to this um, wanting to move towards a more playfulness,
Yeah.
what do you think will be the Veronica that would just recognize the racing thoughts, but will move towards playfulness? Um, what will be that, Veronica?
I don't know. It just feels like that gap is big. Like, so it's like you were asking me for that gap. So how do
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
it?
yeah.
What's that? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, where do I even start? I feel like, so first thing that came to mind is like, maybe I should have like a little cheat sheet, like a sheet of paper with some questions that
Yes,
are evoking that kind of perspective shift, right?
yes, yes, yes,
That
yes.
perspective between my life is not dependable on this one tennis session, just make a decision and move on with your life and focus on the things that are important.
Yeah, yeah,
Something about focus on the things that are important. So
yes,
it definitely has something to do like why you're here in the first place. So why you're doing this thing, right?
yes, yes.
So it's that motivation, the vision, the bigger picture of like, why
Yeah.
am I doing it?
Yeah.
So I'll bigger picture
Mm,
slash vision intention.
yeah.
So yeah. So that's something for me to make. So when I'm in that mode, I can go to it and have a look at this. But I wonder if there's anything else. I have a weird, like a weird traction going on where if I said to myself in those moments, I'll go meditate, it's like my brain will talk me out of it. I do not know why. No idea.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I also think it has some, no, I don't know. So I thought it had something to do with like if I have a regular meditative practice every day
Yeah.
and then I stop for like a few days, then it's difficult for me to go back to it.
Yes.
But recently I didn't stop. Like I my app calculates that I've done it for 3 days, 6 days in a row, right? And then I stopped for one day. And I'm like, why is my brain talking me out of it? Like
Right.
that's something there. That's something like the ego mind, something there that is just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's the frustration. Like it's like my mind is I'm getting myself in the way, you know?
Okay.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So it feels like stuck. So how do I get there from a sense of um apart from like meditation? So meditation is good in a way that I can just pick up my phone and put it on, right? And
Yes.
put it in my ears. And so if something talks to my ears, I'll
Mm.
finally succumb, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
it's like
yes.
I need something that it's almost like persistent and that I can grab at any time.
Yeah.
So when I don't feel great, I can just grab it.
Yeah.
Mm, so meditation is not bad. And I have all sorts of videos saved all over YouTube and stuff, you know. Um, but it's something to do. Maybe I should have like a folder. I already have some. Maybe I just don't use them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have folders on like Instagram or somewhere where I save like motivational posts,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like something. Um, so maybe I open it and just go
Yes.
through those motivational whatever. It just makes me realize that I have things. Like I have these books. You remember months ago I told you about that Brianna Wiest books that I have had, and it's like they are good for my soul.
Yeah.
And she talks a lot about change and she like digs right into your soul and she's got this
Yeah. Yeah.
poetic kind of style. So I'm like, maybe I should open that book when I
Yeah.
Okay, Brianna books. Maybe, maybe I need all of this in like a box, you know?
Mm.
And it's like that is my like self-help box. You don't feel good, open the box. And there are like a few different things there that I can pick up and be like, okay, maybe it's even like a jar with like a playful. That would be playful.
That would be
But I
playful.
have a massive something, a vase. No, I don't have not a jar, but I can use like a vase for plants, flowers.
Yeah.
And put little sheets of paper, just write down yoga, fold it,
Yes.
put it in there. And when
Yes.
I don't feel great, I pick up one and I do that thing that it says, I like
Yeah.
a vase. It's not a jar. Can't be bothering buying big jars now. That would be another decision to make. No, no. Um, yeah, okay. So to help myself in those moments when I'm procrastinating, I recognize that I'm procrastinating and I feel even worse now, right? So now
Oh,
I know.
God.
Or like yeah, or I'm not making the decisions that I want to make. So if I can stop the racing thoughts,
Yeah,
then I can make better decision and actually decide if I'm going to the work
yeah,
and what
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of work and so on, right? So that definitely would be a good first step. Yeah. How do you call it? A ballot, isn't it? Ballot? Like when they dug yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. It feels it feels doable. Ah, I also wrote down the 5 second rule. And I could probably came up with a little bit more. I probably even know a book where they've already reframed it for me. Should to could, can't to, maybe or whatever.
Yes, yes, yes.
And maybe even have it like stuck to my wardrobe. I put more and more things in my wardrobe. Like one of the things you remember, one of those is like, why don't you focus on things you're doing well? Like every morning it's like
I'm
that.
picking up, I'm sorry to interrupt because I'm picking up your energy. You
Yeah,
really feel different.
yeah, because that's what I need. Like I need this shift. But not every word, not every sentence gets you, right? Sometimes you read something and you're like, oh yeah, But like if you're not in a good mood, like you're not feeling great, you need something that is just gonna capture that and be like, eh. I once was recording this voice recording for my friends. And as I'm talking to them on the phone, I'm realizing how I talk to myself. And I say to them, well, actually, what the kind of problems I have? What problems do I have? People, and I was like, it's still war in Gaza and Ukraine and
Yeah,
so on.
yeah.
I'm like, what problems do I have? I'm sat here, beautiful house, the dog, the boyfriend, all the computers that I have everything that I possibly need. What is my problem, It's like, what the hell is my problem, It's like, and then it brings me back to like all the things that happen in my head.
Yeah,
And I even like came up with some ideas for the courses and coaching I do. And I feel like there's a price we pay for being intelligent. And I even got to the space when I started wondering whether this is what people say that I'm intelligent. I just see it differently because from my perspective, it
yeah,
means deep thinking, noticing details, struggling to remember about the big picture because I see so many details everywhere,
yeah.
that I'm like, I forget about what is important, because everything has to be perfect,
I understand.
Yeah, and people think it's like this positive thing. Oh, you must be so smart and so intelligent. I'm like, yeah. Don't know if it's like a
Mm,
bliss or a curse, like
yeah, yeah.
um hidden costs of intelligence. That's something I came up with. Yeah, hidden costs of
So
being
I'm
intelligent.
aware of the time, and I wonder because we start talking about decision making and wanting to have more playfulness. What do you think has been helpful to you with this conversation?
Um, I think I showed up with a mess in my head and I organized it a little bit to actually so label what is actually going on in my head.
Yeah,
So it's a little bit like I feel like because of that I was able to detach from it and that's where the lightness come from. Because I detached from I'm like, oh yeah, this is what my mind is doing in my head, right? And so now we're laughing. And I'm like, how funny Veronica's mind. And I'm like
yeah, yeah,
writing about competing voices in my head,
yeah,
Um, but the thing is, it's just so easy to say now, right? It's just like I know just how hard it is when you're in that moment and you're not feeling great.
yeah,
And it's that something is like either the bloody tennis or something else, um and sometimes it just feels super tiring because I feel like I already do so many things to maintain good mental health and physical and mental and everything. And sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, what else do I have to do? Like
yeah,
surely I would be doing fine.
yeah.
So it's definitely something about labeling actually what's going on in my own head
Yes, 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 yes.
and actually even putting some words to it and being like, oh, that's what it is, competing voices in my head. I'm like, oh,
Yes,
racing thoughts. Okay, I'm actually gonna write
yeah,
that down. Racing thoughts. Um, and I think it's just really important for me this ideas of what I can do when I'm in that moment.
yes,
Because as I said, I just feel like it's so easy to say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that," in
yeah,
a coaching session, and then you go off, and then there's still life and the same the patterns, the patterns of behavior that
yeah,
are there. It's just like to change them. Like you really need to be super hyper vigilant and even if I think I notice them, but I just feel like a bit helpless with them when and it makes sense as well because if I'm not in a good mood, I'm not feeling great, the weather is crap,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna have that resourcefulness, right? If I have
Yes,
racing thoughts, I'm not very logical and resourceful, right?
yes, 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 that makes
So
sense.
yeah, so in that sense, I think it's just those strategies to deal with those moments that I know they're gonna be there. Like it's just they're not gonna
Yes.
disappear.
So when that happens next time, what do you think you need to remember that will be helpful to you in that moment?
So recently, so there's some mantras I used to repeat to myself a lot, and I remember them recently. So mantras work wonders on me. Like because it's like I over talk the noises in my head. Like I just
Yeah,
over talk them. Like I just keep repeating
yeah,
the thing. And there's no decision making there
yeah.
because I know the mantra. You just have to keep repeating it over and over. It's almost like boring, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe sometimes I'm trying to be too actually intelligent. Like I was having like miracle, I don't know, strategies
Mm,
when sometimes it's easy, right? Yesterday I realized, Veronica, well, you don't have to open your phone and an app to meditate. You can close your eyes and stop and take three deep breaths and then make a decision. Like it
yeah,
doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to require anything else than just like doing this.
yeah,
Take
yeah.
a breath. And there is something else. Aha. I did this funny meditation with Bob Proctor. I don't know if you recognize the
I
guy.
heard about him.
He's like an old-fashioned guy, but I find him refreshing because it's different than what other people do, and he's got a very interesting voice. And in this meditation, he talks about how you move your awareness into your skull, and you're like going from the front of your skull to the
Yeah,
back to your ear, and like you're moving. And that was so powerful for me. I was like squeezing myself between my brain and the skull, and I'm a neuroscientist. So I was like, well, look at this brain, look at these grooves. And I'm like, well, it's just questions that super, that kind of spiritual part of you. That's like, well, who am I? Like, if I can squeeze between my brain and my skull, and sat here in this body, like, so that awareness, that soul, that true me,
yeah,
right? What is it then? And so after that, I kept walking around. I was like, I'm a soul living in this body. I'm a soul living in this body. And it just worked wonders for me. I was just like, yeah, I look after my body because I want to live in this body on this earth and I want to travel. I want to travel and see the world. So I'm going to look after my body so I can go up those stairs to those, ancient, some temples in Malaysia. So. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down. Just give me a sec.
Mm,
So the soul living in this body, that's for sure. What else did I say? A breath in a moment.
yeah.
In the moment, not necessarily like a full-on meditation. And there was something else I said?
You mentioned about the mantras.
Mantras, yeah.
You mentioned about the mantras.
I could as well put all of those things in those little sheets of paper for the
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So we are coming to the end. And what do you think is the big takeaway from today?
Um, I don't know. I just feel like I'm nuts. Like I just like there's just so much going on in my head. It just gives me like I want to be able to live with it, you know?
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things that people say like you're never gonna get there with this. Like
Yes.
it's just you just always with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know, it just feels like work,
I
you know?
understand. I understand. Understand.
It's like the price I pay for being intelligent, you know? Like literally, I'm like, so I have to live with this computer between my ears, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I wanted all this freedom, now I have all this freedom. And sometimes I wonder if I want to go back to old ways, you know? And I'm thinking, well, do I want to go to old ways or is it my comfort zone, right? I'm looking back, I want to head back to
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
comfort
Yeah.
zone
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I'm out of my comfort zone. Yeah.
Mm, I understand. I
Maybe
understand.
it's something about making my new comfort zone, you know? I'm gonna write it down.
So I'm aware of the time.
Yeah.
Any last words after we end the session?
Um, no, I think it's just a thank you for speaking, for letting me speak a lot. Like I am aware I talk a lot, but it's like I need it. Like I
Yeah.
need to like say it all and then organize it, you know, like brain dump and then organize, brain dump. So I guess, and it makes sense if there's a lot going on in my head, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Okay. So
thank
thank
you
you for
for
your patience.
no, it's a pleasure and we will meet again. So anything we can always pick it up again. And thank you for
Yeah.
today, Veronica.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.